Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for the last day of July 31st, 2024 for the lower 48 United States and the tropical weather update. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest updates as it becomes available. Thank you very much for your support. Right now we're looking at the National Weather Service current hazards for the lower 48, and as you can see, it's mostly heat related in the orange and fuchsia purple colors here. In the Central Plains and Mid-Mississippi Valley, there's excessive heat warnings in effect for cities such as Memphis, Greenville, Little Rock, St. Louis, and over back towards Kansas City, Missouri, and Omaha, Nebraska. And then outlying areas, heat advisories all the way down from the DFW, Metroplex, all the way across I-20 through northern Shreveport, Alabama, Birmingham, Atlanta, Tallahassee, over toward Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and up the East Coast as well, I-95 corridor. So as you can see, heat is the name of the game. This heat dome will sit over, this big high-pressure ridge is sitting over the central of the country. Storms are riding across that, on the top of that there, and there's some flood watches continuing in eastern Iowa, in the Quad Cities area, Davenport area. And also we have flood warnings in the, flood watches, I should say, in the Appalachia. So eastern Kentucky, Knoxville coming up 75 through Bristol, Tennessee, up through southwestern Virginia and down through the Smokies. There could be a little bit treacherous there for some of those rivers and creeks and streams, so be careful there. Out west we have a flash flood warning for the Inland Empire, also extending into Arizona Canyon country as well there. So be careful coming into I-10 there across Blythe, California, and coming towards Indio and places like that, Beaumont and Banning. There could be some flash flood warning, some streaks and creams that could be overflowing. Also in the upper Midwest, in the Pacific Northwest, I should say, and just east of the Cascades, there was a flash flood warning for some of those creeks that are swollen there. As the eastern Washington area received a lot of rain in the last couple of days. So that's our National Weather Service hazards. This will continue throughout tomorrow as well. Now looking at the National Hurricane Center, this disturbance is very interesting here. It's been giving a 60% chance of development in 7 days. Right now it's centered somewhere over U.S. Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands, and Anguilla. It's continuing to move fast there, but interest in Florida, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and possibly in the Gulf, Eastern Gulf, so keep an eye out for this. But like I said, there's two tracks for this. Basically, if it goes over this land, Anarax and the Hispaniola, the high mountains, and the eastern mountains of Cuba, this will tend to break it up and make a weaker system here. So we might not get anything out of it. Maybe a tropical depression in the next 6 to 7 days, possibly a tropical storm. It'll be a weaker storm. If it goes to the north here, and it curves to the north of eastern Bahamas, past the Exuma Cays and all of that, and misses land, there's a chance that it can clip the outer banks maybe before heading out to sea, or the mid-Atlantic before heading out to sea as a much stronger system, possibly a Category 1 hurricane. That's the two options that we have available for this system, but it's going to be hard to tell. By tomorrow, we'll have a firmer grip on it as it moves past and gets out past Puerto Rico and gets into some more favorable conditions for development. So that's the story with that. Right now, we just have an invest area that everybody's investigating, but so far, nothing has formed. But like I said, it could form, a tropical depression could form next week, Monday, or something like that. We could have something like that coming up towards the Bahamas. So everybody's keeping interest on that as well. But you can see the Atlantic combo here, this Saharan dust and dry air that this thing is fighting here is all in there. There's almost some wind chill coming in from the northeast, or should say as well. So all of that is playing a part. And this Bermuda high, Azores high, is just continuing to be strong, dominant, so dominant here that the system has no other choice but to continue on its current path. So it's fighting two things right now: dry air, and it's fighting wind chill, and it's fighting just poor development here as far as the system. There's no lot of thunderstorms around the center. It's just kind of scattered right now. And we have some scattered thunderstorms down here. There's a tropical wave that's going into just north of Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and the Panama area here. This producing some vigorous tropical wave here, so maybe some strong gusty wind storms out of that. And then of course we have the three storms out in the Pacific. We have Carlotta, tropical storm Carlotta, which is forecast to become a hurricane, by the way, but it's just a fish storm out for mariners' interest. It's not affecting land. And so far the Eastern Pacific has gotten really, really busy, ladies and gentlemen, and it will continue to get busy as we go on throughout. But the Atlantic is really going to have that inhibiting factor, which is going to be the dry air and the Saharan dust layer. And this, so it's not even the westerly wind chill. The westerly wind chill has not been that strong. The westerly is blowing across from east to west. It's just that it had been in the Gulf as when Barrow was there, but we just have seen so much dry air, and that dry air is just going to continue to inhibit development here, even though we're heading toward the busy months, the August, September, October of this hurricane season. So let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's going to be busy, but they may have to lower the number of hurricanes that we're going to be seeing in August and September if this pattern continues. Now, the Bermuda high is oscillating. If it continues to move, more toward the east, away east of Bermuda, then that means more storms can, get a chance to get out of that dry air and get out of that Saharan dust layer. So that may be something to look forward to later on in the season. But right now, this pattern looks like it's going to be persistent for the next week or two here. And so we just have to wait and see how things develop here in all these basins, the Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf of Mexico, But the Eastern Pacific for now is going to take the cake as far as going down the list of names here, as Carlotta continues to make its way westward and just not affecting anybody, just Mariner's interest here. And it will continue. All the models are in agreement here that it will continue on westward, not affecting land here. And I think we're going to continue to go through the names here in the Eastern Pacific here. This will be another hurricane here for the. I think this will be either the first hurricane of the Eastern Pacific, since we're only on the sea name. They had Tropical Storm Bud fizzled out around the same area, and now we've got Carlotta here, and this is winds up 45 miles an hour. Supposed to get a hurricane by Thursday, Friday. Not a major hurricane, but a hurricane nonetheless. Category 1 or 2 possible here with this thing, and that'd be the first hurricane of the Eastern Pacific season. And the Eastern Pacific season is so far it's probably going to end up being busier than the Atlantic season, even though we're in a La Nina pattern right now. So just something to think about right now. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, on this edition. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. And have a great day. Be weather-wise. Be safe. Thank you very much.